Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ando, and today we got kind of a fun video. I posed out a question to my Discord, which, by the way, if you guys aren't part of, link is down in the description below. And I would like for you guys to join, just enjoy some friendly banter, random questions like this, and just a chance to get to know you guys. Um, but the question was basically, hey, if you guys could just pick some characters that you guys want some light reworks or some touch ups to, who would they be, and what would that rework entail? And let's just frame this a little bit because I wasn't trying to look for something that would break the meta or even really start to challenge a lot of higher end teams. What I was really looking for is kind of how can you make some of these useless characters that we have, and maybe fit them into a kind of a C or B tier team that maybe can take a few people by surprise, especially as you'll see in the video on the 3v3 format where a lot of, there's a lot more open ended team comps. So it's going to be kind of a fun video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you guys do, please like and subscribe, and then comment down below on your own composition that you would make out of this team or any other reworks that you would want. All right, let's get to the video. All right, guys, so if you're looking at the screen, you're wondering what the heck are they talking about. There's a lot more characters that need reworks than this that could be way more useful. You're right, but we are looking at fun characters that we can maybe reinsert into the lineups, and then they would make themselves useful again. So, or for some of them, it would be the first time that they are useful. But for Gar Saxon, for instance, who's our number 5, let's look at his kit. So the Discord actually came at this more at an Empire direction. I kind of turned it into, let's look at the leadership here and make it more of like a Mandalorian aspect of this. So what I suggest is we add a Mandalorian or Mandalore tag up here, and we would add it to Jango Fett and Candace Ordo, because to my knowledge, those are the only two other Mandalores in the game right now. Because Boba Fett is technically a clone, so he doesn't really count. But maybe they could stretch it out and give him a Mandalore tag as well. And then they just simply add in, like they do in a lot of touch-ups, Empire allies and Mandalorian allies gain 50% counter chance and 40% defense. Whenever an Empire and Mandalorian ally uses a basic attack, they recover 5% health. Now, if you know Jango's kit and you know Candace Ordo's kit, one, they both can add more than one attack. And if you have the Zeta on Candace Ordo, he's going to attack 3 times. So that's 15% health that he's going to do. And then with Jango Fett, that's 10% that he's going to cover. And he hits really hard. And all the while, Candace Ordo is also adding the dots. So there would be some pretty interesting synergy. And Candace is already kind of a tanky character himself. So 40% defense on him might make him a lot harder to kill, on top of the fact that he's recovering health and he's going to be countering and he's going to be taking his own turn. So I think this would be really, really cool, especially in like a 3v3 format for Grand Arena, where all of a sudden now we've got these guys that they're countering, they're adding back to their survivability. So it'd be a pretty tricky team, I think, to navigate around. So for our number 4th is Plo Koon. Don't mind the no mod right here. I've currently been remodding because of this whole Kylo Ren, new Kylo Ren. But the one thing we could agree upon was that we really liked his ship. So there's no need for a rework there. But what we were thinking about is maybe instead of on his basic, instead of doing a defense up, maybe he does a protection up. Now he has some synergy with a Padme team, and he's kind of a actual good fit in there. Because right now, no one really likes to take C-3PO out because, he really helps out a Rebel team or even a JTR team. And then, you could put in Shock T, but they're just, it's not, I think, as good. You could really use another character that gives protection up. And I think this would be a pretty easy way. You just remove the defense up and then you put protection up. So that would give some viability back to moving in a Plo Koon uh, into a Padme team. All right, so the next one is going to come by no surprise. This is Visas Mar. I think a lot of people have called for reworks, especially all the Old Republic fans. And she definitely deserves some tags because she doesn't have a synergy. We actually all agree that she's actually got a super, a pretty solid kit. Definitely not overpowered by any means, but in the right scenarios, she could actually be very, very useful. If you put like an Old Republic tag on her, and especially if you put a Jedi tag on her as well, all of a sudden now you're going to boost up Jedi Knight Revan's leadership on the Old Republic Jedi. And also, with all the anti-Sith synergy, you might actually have a really good shot, or at least a better shot, at countering a Darth Revan team with your Jedi. Now, I know there's ways that you can counter Darth Revan with Jedi Knight Revan, but it usually involves Thrawn and kind of different mod setups on your Jedi. But I think this would be a really cool way for you to maybe take out your Hermit Yoda and then put in a Visas Mar and start to really do some good damage on a Darth Knight, or a Darth Revan team. And then the next one is Luminara Unduli. Now, this is more about adding a unique to her kit as is. So we all know that there's a Master and Apprentice in quite a few. There's quite a few characters that have that built in. We want to see is a Luminara and a Barriss synergy built in, and that could be something like, whenever for Luminara, maybe her unique is whenever Barriss is present, gain 50% crit immunity, and maybe some protection up or whatever, or maybe some max protection. And then maybe for Barriss, with Luminara being there, maybe that gives Barriss the ability to be a little bit more offensive. So maybe you add 20 or 30% offense to Luminara, to Barriss, and that would maybe just make enough damage to where she can actually hit someone and it be somewhat dangerous. And what I was thinking of, is maybe a 3v3 format again, where you've got General Kenobi with a Zeta Barriss and a Luminara, and all of a sudden with all the heals and all the mass to assist and stuff like that, now you've got a good timeout team with all the heals and everything that goes along with that. So it'd be a pretty interesting comp to see, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And then our final one is one that I brought up, and this one's near and dear to my heart. I actually had this idea. I've had it multiple times, but the first time that I had it was whenever I was playing Battlefront 2, and it was Darth Maul, and he needs a Separatist tag. And I was jumping up and down. I was on Geonosis or whatever, and I think I was jumping up and down, and I was like, oh man, look at all these droids. And then I thought to myself, like, why doesn't Darth Maul have a Separatist tag? He definitely was part of the Separatist movement, even though he was kind of lurking in the shadows. He was still part of it. He still had plenty of ties to the gun rays and stuff like that. So I just think that this makes too much sense, and I don't know why we don't have it. And this is sort of a 2-for-1 as well, but I think if you add Maul in as a Separatist, you have to add SWGoH in. And this would help out the player base a lot because, in territory battles, there's everyone gives up some teams for platoons and stuff like that, and then this would also be a good player versus player format as well. I think if they added the Separatist tag, what I was really thinking about here is maybe Dancing Shadows, his leader ability. You say all Sith and Separatist allies gain the 20% evasion, gain 20% turn meter, and stealth for 1 turn at the start of each encounter. And whenever they evade or are critically hit, and they can't be critically hit while stealth, they gain advantage for 2 turns whenever stealth expires. The stealth and turn meter from this ability ignores taunting allies. So what I was thinking of is this would be really, really frustrating, so there probably would need to be some testing done on this one. But what if you're doing this and you've got, a Maul, a Savage, a B1, a Droideka, and some other Separatist ally, maybe even a Dooku or something like that. Try not to rip too much, or maybe a Wat Tambor. Try not to rip too much from the other Separatist lineups, but at the same time, could you imagine that all of a sudden, you're hitting, one of them, Maul or Savage or one of those characters, and then they go under stealth, and they're, as soon as they go under stealth, B1 is coming back, and they're re-healing that character, and all the meanwhile, Droideka is gaining up stacks of charge, and he's about to get ready to just do a one-shot on one of your characters. That would be a very, very difficult team for you to try to work around. Now, I know you can just bring in Burning or whatever, but it just seems to me that maybe this would be a very fun way for a new Separatist lineup to be in there, and then also some more Separatist characters, so you can kind of round out that that second or third Separatist team. So again, let me know what you guys thought about the video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying them. Again, like I said, come by the Discord, share with us your guys' thoughts and what you guys think about what's happening in the game, anything. We just like to mess around and talk a lot, and I like to get to know all of you guys. So appreciate all the support that you guys have given me thus far. Head on over to our Twitch and catch a live stream as well. They're a lot of fun. But thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.